This rock art changed history, and so did other shocking discoveries. From eerie mummies to cryptic cave paintings, these finds rewrite what we thought we knew. Deep in the darkness of a French cave, something incredible was found. Hidden for over 30,000 years, the walls of Chauvet Cave are covered in paintings that should not exist. These aren't simple stick figures or primitive scribbles. The artwork is so advanced, so detailed, that it looks almost modern. Shading, movement, perspective, things that weren't supposed to be part of prehistoric art. The discovery shook the world. Before this, historians believed early humans were unsophisticated. That real artistic expression only appeared much later. Chauvet proved that humans tens of thousands of years ago had creativity, intelligence, and possibly a deeper understanding of the world than we ever thought. But there's something unsettling about these paintings. The animals, lions, rhinos, mammoths, seem to leap off the walls with an eerie, lifelike quality. Some figures are half human, half beast, as if the artists were depicting creatures from another world. What inspired them? What were they trying to capture? And then there's the handprints. Many caves have them, stenciled against the stone, but some of the hands in Chauvet are smaller than any known human hands. Others have elongated fingers, strange proportions that don't quite match modern anatomy. Some researchers believe these could be ritual markings, evidence of early shamanic practices. Others whisper something stranger. What if these weren't human hands at all? But Chauvet isn't the only prehistoric mystery. Deep inside Nazca Cave, another discovery left scientists questioning everything they knew. Among the paintings of bulls and deer, there is something even more astonishing, a sky map. Some researchers believe that certain dots and patterns scattered across the cave match real constellations. Orion, the Pleiades, the Summer Triangle, mapped out thousands of years before recorded astronomy. If this is true, it means early humans were already watching the skies, tracking celestial movements, and possibly passing down star knowledge long before modern civilizations. It challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient people. The entrances to both caves are sealed now. No one is allowed inside except a handful of scientists. The artwork is too fragile, too important to risk. But the images remain, locked in time, whispering secrets from a forgotten world. What else have we underestimated about the past? What else is waiting to be uncovered? Not all ancient cave art is about animals and hunting. Some of the most bizarre and unsettling images left behind by early humans aren't of creatures at all, but of hands. In caves across the world, from Argentina to Indonesia, thousands of hand stencils are pressed against stone walls. Most seem normal. But then there are the others. The ones that don't match human anatomy. Some have 6 fingers, others appear elongated or deformed. A few are so small they could belong to children, but their proportions are strangely off. In El Castillo Cave in Spain, some of these prints are estimated to be at least 40,000 years old, making them some of the oldest known art in human history. In Cueva de las Manos, Argentina, a massive cluster of hands seems almost ritualistic, as if the artists were marking their presence over generations. But why? Were these hands a way of saying I was here, a form of early communication, or something more mysterious? Some researchers believe they could be linked to ancient shamanic practices meant to connect early humans to unseen forces. Others speculate that the deformed hands could be evidence of genetic conditions or even intentional alterations. But there's another question lurking in the background. Were all of these handprints actually made by humans? Whatever the truth, these ghostly imprints are a silent message from the distant past. They raise more questions than answers. And strange markings left behind by ancient people aren't just hidden in caves. Some are carved into the earth itself, on a scale so massive they can only be seen from above. The Nazca Lines in Peru are world famous. Their massive shapes stretching across the desert, visible only from the sky. But they're not the only ones, and they're not the oldest. Scattered across Kazakhstan, hidden in the Amazon, and even found in California's Mojave Desert, massive geometric patterns and figures have been etched into the land for thousands of years. Some predate the Nazca Lines by millennia. In Turgai, Kazakhstan, enormous formations known as the steppe geoglyphs spread across the landscape. Some are simple circles, others are complex swastika-like shapes created with perfect precision. Who built them? And more importantly, why? In the Amazon rainforest, another discovery has baffled archaeologists. Aerial surveys have revealed hundreds of massive geometric formations, perfectly preserved beneath the trees. These aren't natural. They're man-made, carved into the land long before the jungle grew over them. Some estimate that these Amazon geoglyphs could be more than 2,000 years old, but their purpose remains unknown. These mysterious shapes raise a chilling possibility. Entire civilizations, advanced enough to carve massive messages into the earth, may have existed long before recorded history. And yet, almost nothing is known about them. What messages were they trying to send? Who were they meant for? If these ancient markings were left behind for someone or something to see, what else is out there, hidden beneath the surface? In another part of Peru, a strange discovery might hold even more secrets. Thousands of perfectly carved holes stretch for miles in a way that defies explanation. High in the Peruvian desert, far from the famous Nazca Lines, lies something even stranger. Thousands of carved-out holes stretching in an almost perfect line for miles. No one knows who made them, why they're there, or how old they are. Known as the Band of Holes, this bizarre formation consists of more than 6,000 individual pits, some as deep as 6 feet carved into the dry, rocky landscape. At first glance, they seem too precise to be natural. The holes follow a rigid, organized path along a barren ridge, covering nearly 1.5 miles. Some archaeologists have suggested they were ancient food storage pits, but there's a problem with that theory. Most of them are empty, with no signs of ever being used for storage. Others think they could be part of a forgotten counting system, or even a form of prehistoric communication, like a massive coded message etched into the earth. Satellite images reveal something even more unsettling. From above, the band of holes almost looks like a trail left behind by something enormous, as if an unknown force once moved across the desert, carving out the holes in its path. But by whom, and for what purpose? No ancient texts or oral traditions mention them. Whoever made these pits left behind no records, no tools, no explanations. The Band of Holes is a silent enigma, a mystery that refuses to be solved. And it's not the only ancient artwork that defies explanation. Deep in the Kimberley region of Australia, hidden within rocky cliffs and caves, ancient paintings stare back at those who find them. Known as the Wandjina figures, these massive, otherworldly beings are among the most mysterious pieces of Aboriginal rock art ever discovered. Their faces are strange, huge, hollow eyes with no pupils, wide, featureless heads, and no mouths. Some stand as tall as 20 feet, towering over the human figures painted beside them. The indigenous Worora, Ngarinyin, and Wunambal people believe these paintings depict the Wandjina, ancestral spirits who control the weather and watch over the land. But some researchers see something else. Figures that bear an eerie resemblance to modern descriptions of extraterrestrials. The Wandjina are unique in ancient art. Unlike most rock paintings that fade with time, these figures are regularly repainted, as if meant to be preserved for eternity. Some are thousands of years old, others could be much older. But why do they look so different from other Aboriginal art? Why do they lack mouths? According to legend, the Wandjina were so powerful that they didn't need to speak, they controlled everything with their minds. But these figures don't just raise questions about who painted them, they raise a bigger, stranger possibility. What if these weren't just myths? What if the people who painted them saw something real? And if they did, what else might they have encountered in the past? In 1911, miners digging through a guano-filled cave near Lovelock, Nevada, stumbled upon something unexpected. Bones, human bones. But there was something unusual about them. They were massive. Some of the skulls measured far larger than those of an average human, with jawbones so big they could fit over a normal person's face. According to local Paiute legends, there was once a race of giant red-haired people who terrorized their ancestors. The Paiutes called them the Sitaka, said to be cannibalistic giants who were eventually trapped inside the cave and burned alive. For years, the story was dismissed as folklore, but the miners had just unearthed something that matched the description exactly. Hundreds of artifacts were removed from Lovelock Cave, woven sandals far too large for a normal human foot, strange tools, and enormous skeletal remains. The findings were so bizarre that the Smithsonian Institution allegedly took possession of them, but many were never seen again. Some claim the bones were lost in storage. Others believe they were intentionally hidden to suppress evidence of something that didn't fit into conventional history. Skeptics argue that the bones belonged to unusually tall Native Americans, not giants. But if that were the case, Why did so many of the remains and artifacts vanish? What was so controversial about what was found in Lovelock Cave? To this day, the site remains an unsolved mystery. Whatever was inside that cave, whether it was truly a race of giants or something else, has left behind a puzzle with missing pieces. A mystery buried deep in time, waiting for someone brave enough to uncover the truth. In the dry, desolate caves of Nazca, Peru, a discovery surfaced that defied explanation. A set of mummified bodies unlike anything ever recorded were found deep within the rock. At first glance, they looked human, until experts examined their hands. Each one had only 3 long, bony fingers, as if designed for something beyond human anatomy. These were not ordinary mummies. They were small, fragile, and preserved with extraordinary detail. Their elongated skulls, oversized eye sockets, and unusual rib structures didn't match any known human remains. Scans revealed internal organs intact, suggesting that whoever or whatever they weren't artificially altered after death. The mystery deepened when carbon dating placed the bodies at nearly 1,000 years old, meaning they belonged to a civilization that predates the Inca Empire. But no known culture in the region documented or depicted beings with 3 fingers and elongated heads. If these were humans, their skeletal differences would be considered biological impossibilities. Some believe these mummies are evidence of a lost branch of humanity, a separate species that lived and died in isolation. Others claim they prove ancient extraterrestrial contact, suggesting that these beings were not from this world at all. The Peruvian government has kept the site's location secret. Some researchers argue the bodies are elaborate fakes, others say they are authentic but of an unknown origin. The truth remains buried. But across the world, in Japan, another mystery is staring back, one carved into stone, thousands of years before the modern era. Thousands of years ago, in what is now Japan, small clay figures were shaped by unknown hands. Known as dogu, these strange statues date back to as early as 14,000 years ago, during the Jomon period. But their appearance is nothing like other ancient human art. Their bizarre, almost robotic designs raise a chilling question. Were the dogu meant to represent something not entirely human? Each dogu has bulbous wide eyes, intricate armor-like patterns, and exaggerated body shapes. Some have massive goggle-like eye coverings, resembling modern depictions of astronaut helmets. Others have thin limbs and jointed segments, almost as if they were mechanical rather than organic. These weren't crude attempts at depicting people. They were made with precision and care, as if their makers were trying to replicate something very specific. Historians argue that dogu figurines were spiritual objects, possibly shamanic representations of gods or ancestors. But no written records exist to confirm their purpose. Unlike other ancient art, they don't resemble ordinary humans or animals. And that's where the mystery grows deeper. Could the Jomon people have been trying to capture something they saw? Some researchers believe the dogu figures bear a striking resemblance to modern descriptions of extraterrestrials. If that were true, it would suggest that encounters with otherworldly beings have been happening far longer than we ever imagined. Most of the dogu figurines were deliberately broken before being buried, leading to speculation that they were part of ritualistic ceremonies. Were the Jomon people trying to communicate with something or get rid of something? The dogu mystery remains unsolved. The statues are displayed in museums admired for their artistry, but their meaning is lost to time. Did the Jomon people create figures of gods, spirits, or something else entirely? Perhaps the real answer is still waiting to be uncovered. In the middle of the Egyptian desert, far from any ocean, something unbelievable lies buried beneath the sand, a mass graveyard of prehistoric whales. Known as Wadi al-Hitan, or the Valley of the Whales, this site contains fossilized skeletons of massive whales, some with legs and feet, creatures that existed before whales fully adapted to life in the sea. These fossils, some over 50 feet long, tell a story that rewrites evolution. The bones belong to Basilosaurus and Dorudon, ancient whales that still had hind limbs, proving that their ancestors once walked on land. But how did they end up here, in the middle of a desert? Millions of years ago, this region was covered by a vast ocean. When these creatures died, their remains settled on the seafloor, slowly fossilizing over time. But the mystery isn't just their presence, it's their arrangement. Many of the skeletons are positioned strangely, almost as if they were placed there intentionally. Some even have bite marks from unknown predators, hinting at a prehistoric battle frozen in time. Even more unsettling, many of the fossils are completely intact, as if something preserved them perfectly. Unlike other fossil sites, where bones are scattered and broken, Wadi al-Hitan holds remains that seem undisturbed, as if something kept them in place for millions of years. The site raises haunting questions. What else could be buried beneath the Sahara's endless sand? What other lost creatures or civilizations might still be waiting to be uncovered? Across the world, another ancient discovery remains hidden beneath the earth. Buried for decades under the ground in Scotland, the Kokno stone is one of the strangest and most intricate prehistoric carvings ever found. Measuring nearly 43 feet long, it is covered in swirling circular patterns. Thousands of mysterious symbols etched into solid rock over 5,000 years ago. The designs are known as cup and ring marks, a style found at ancient sites around the world. But what do they mean? Some researchers believe they represent the movement of the stars, making the Kokno stone a possible prehistoric map of the sky. Others suggest it could have been used in rituals, marking an important spiritual site for ancient people. But there's a problem. No one knows who made it, or why. The carvings are incredibly precise, as if made with tools more advanced than simple stone chisels. Some patterns seem to overlap each other, as if they were added over generations. Others appear in perfect geometric formations, almost like coordinates or coded messages. The stone was deliberately buried in 1965 to protect it from vandalism, sealing away its secrets beneath layers of earth. But even before that, stories surrounded it. Locals claimed it was cursed, that people who tampered with it would suffer misfortune. Some believed it held hidden knowledge, a lost key to an ancient civilization. Archaeologists have re-excavated parts of the Kokno stone, but the full truth remains out of reach. What if this isn't just a piece of prehistoric art? What if it was meant to send a message, one that we still haven't figured out? Across the world, another discovery suggests that ancient people were looking to the skies for answers, mapping the universe in ways we never expected. In Australia, long before modern telescopes and star charts, the Aboriginal people may have created one of the oldest astronomical maps in human history. At a site known as Wurdi Yuang, an arrangement of carefully placed stones seems to perfectly align with the movements of the sun. Unlike other ancient sites which track seasonal changes or lunar cycles, Wurdi Yuang appears to mark the solstices with incredible accuracy. The stones are positioned in a way that mirrors the horizon, allowing observers to see the sun's exact position during different times of the year. But what's even more incredible is that this site is estimated to be over 11,000 years old, making it older than Stonehenge and even the Egyptian pyramids. If true, it means that the Aboriginal Australians may have been the world's first astronomers, long before Western civilizations began charting the stars. Their knowledge of astronomy doesn't stop at Wurdi Yuang. Many Aboriginal oral traditions describe celestial events that happened thousands of years ago. Supernova explosions, meteor strikes, and planetary movements, all passed down through generations. Some stories even reference changes in the sky that match modern astronomical data, proving that this knowledge isn't just legend, it's rooted in real observations. But if these people understood the stars so well, what else did they know? Did they chart movements beyond our solar system? Were they tracking something we haven't yet discovered? Their sky maps and traditions may hold secrets we still haven't decoded, and if they were watching the heavens so closely, what were they expecting to see? For centuries, history books claimed that Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492. But an ancient map suggests that Europeans may have known about the New World long before Columbus ever set sail. Known as the Vinland Map, this mysterious medieval document appears to show the coastline of North America, labeled as Vinland, the name the Vikings gave to the land they reached across the Atlantic. If authentic, the map could change everything. It suggests that European scholars in the Middle Ages already knew about North America's existence long before Columbus. But where did the knowledge come from, and why was it ignored for so long? The Vikings are known to have reached Canada around the year 1000 AD, led by Leif Erikson. Archaeological remains at L'Anse aux Meadows in Newfoundland prove they built settlements there, but no one thought they left behind maps. If this document is real, it means that Viking knowledge of the New World survived for centuries, possibly influencing later explorers. Yet the Vinland map remains one of history's most controversial documents. Some scientists claim the ink is too modern, while others argue that the parchment itself is genuinely ancient. Is it an authentic relic that rewrites history, or an elaborate forgery designed to fool scholars? The debate still rages on. On Easter Island, the land of the mysterious Moai statues, another enigma, remains unsolved. Scattered across the island, archaeologists have discovered wooden tablets covered in an unknown script. This is Rongorongo, a writing system so rare, so unique, that no one has ever fully deciphered it. If translated, the Rongorongo tablets could unlock the secrets of Easter Island's lost civilization. They could tell us who built the massive Moai statues, why they were made, and what happened to the people who lived there. But there's a problem. No other Polynesian culture used writing. This makes Rongorongo one of the only known writing systems to appear independently in human history. How did an isolated island in the Pacific develop a script so complex? Some believe the islanders created it themselves, inspired by European explorers who arrived in the 1700s, but others argue that the writing is much older, proof of a lost Polynesian literacy that was erased over time. Even stranger, some of the glyphs appear to mirror constellations, hinting that the script might contain astronomical knowledge. Did the people of Easter Island track the stars? Were they leaving behind warnings? Or were they recording something they saw in the sky? Many of the tablets were destroyed by missionaries, burned as part of an effort to erase old traditions. Now, only a handful remain, scattered in museums across the world. The key to deciphering them may be lost forever, but if someone ever cracks the Rongorongo code, it could rewrite the history of writing itself. A lost language, a missing civilization, a message from the past, one that no one alive can read. The question is, was it meant for us to understand? That's about it. Write in the comments which discovery shocked you the most. For more useful information, watch other videos.